I was told when I reacted to the Masked Man did a video on Griffith. I love Berserk, and I heard that Johan Liebert from Monster is almost up there with Griffith, the level of depraved. And I've never seen Monster. I wanted to like bring content to the channel, so I looked up to see if there's a video, and my boy the Masked Man made a video on Johan Liebert. Now I have no prior knowledge other than a fan or somebody who commented on one of my videos, hopefully a fan, decided to say that I should look into this guy, and here we are looking into it. This is the greatest antagonist ever in anime and manga, and I'm so ready. And I saw a breast rising out of the sea, having 10 horns. A beast. I said breast. And I saw Sydney Sweeney's luscious big boobies coming out of the water, and I said, oh, finky, finky, dinky, dinky, I just stinky, stinkied. No. And I saw a beast rising out of the sea, having 10 horns and 7 heads, and on its horns were 10 Damians. Diadems? 10 diadems. And on its heads were blasphemous names. And the dragon gave it his power and his throne. And the great authority, they worshipped the dragon. For he had given his authority to the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, who is like the beast, and who can fight against it?
Once upon a time, in a land far away, there lived a nameless monster. The monster was dying to have a name. So the monster made up his mind and set out on a journey to look for one. But the world was such a very large place. The monster split in two and went on separate journeys.
By the way, this monster design goes so fucking hard, dude. I love the way this thing, it's so creepy, but like also innocent in the same way, like it's from a children's book. This is perfect. This is kind of bringing me back to, I think, Resident Evil 8. I think Village had like the opening storybook section, and I loved it there, and I really love it here.
Went east. The other headed west.
You know what this reminds me of more? It's more like a Roald doll. It reminds me of the illustrations in Roald doll books.
The one who went east came upon a village. There was a blacksmith who lived at the village's entrance. Mr. Blacksmith, please give me your name, said the monster. I can't give you my name, replied the blacksmith. If you give me your name, I'll go inside you and make you strong, said the monster. Really?
Bro, the blacksmith is going to get fucked in the ass by this monster, bro. He's gonna use his nose to spread them butt cheeks, bro. He wants to go deep inside his butt.
Said the blacksmith. If you make me stronger, I'll give you my name.
Never mind. He used his penis nose to shove it down his throat. We got a good throating here, boys and girls. He got throated like a king, bro. We got some Sasha Grey energy going on.
The monster went into the blacksmith. And so, the monster became Otto the blacksmith. Otto was the strongest man in town. But then one day he said, "Look at me, look at me. The monster inside of me is getting bigger. Munch, munch, chomp, chomp."
Yeah.
Whatever this.
We got some munch, munch, gobble, gobble, chunk, chunk, swallow, swallow. Dude is the king. If you're a monster, dude, and you gobble, gulp, and gobble, dude, you're a king, dude. I mean, everyone knows that you gotta eat all the townsfolks because, like, they didn't give you enough blowjobs. So if you don't get enough blowjobs, or for the women out there, you don't get your clit slapped enough, you gotta just fucking eat everybody. Go full Jeffrey Dahmer.
The hungry monster ate up Otto from the inside out. Once again, he was a monster without a name. The monster next went to a castle to look for a nice name. He came upon a very sick boy who lived in that castle. "If you give me your name, I'll make you strong," said the monster. The boy replied, "If you can make me healthy and strong, I will give you my name." So the monster jumped right into the boy. And the boy became full of vigor. The king was overjoyed. He announced, "The prince is healthy. The prince is strong." The monster became quite fond of the boy's name. He was also quite pleased with his royal life in the castle. So he controlled himself no matter how ravenous his appetite became.
There we go. This guy understands how it works, bro. Once you've made it to the top, dude, don't mess. If you got things working for you, don't go jerking off on people's foreheads. Don't be like slapping people in the face with dildos. Just ride it out, dude. Take that success to the freaking bank, dog. Don't ruin what you got.
Day after day, despite his growing hunger, the monster stayed put inside the boy. But finally, the hunger just became too great. "Look at me, said the boy. "The monster inside of me has gotten this big." The boy devoured the king and all his servants.
Bro, just became the king, bro. He was steady living, but then he didn't get his funny up, he got his money up, dog. He's big pimping on his kingdom.
Munch, munch. Chomp, chomp. Gobble, gobble. Go. The castle was lonely now with everyone gone, so the boy left on a journey. He walked and walked for days. And then one day, the boy came upon a monster who had gone west. "I have a name," said the boy, "and it's such a wonderful one at that." But the monster who went west replied, "Who needs a name? I'm perfectly happy without one." After all, that's what we are. Nameless monsters. The boy ate up the monster.
Dude, I knew it. I knew he was gonna fucking eat that other monster, bro. That other monster was being a big bitch, so he didn't want a name and shit. He's like, "Dude, you don't have the power that I harness in one of my testicles." And then just fucking swallowed the fuck out of that freak.
Went west. At last he had found a name, but there was no longer anyone to call him by it. Such a shame, because
I think I said John Liebert. It's Johan Liebert. My bad, dog. I just realized that when it was on screen. I read it really quick in the description. I put my full retard energy just right out on the display from the very beginning of this video. And I hope you guys roast me the fuck out in the comments. I hope you're like, "His name's not John, it's Johan, you fucking little stupid face. You little fucking incel looking freak. You little fucking small dick having doofus head." I mean, the small dick part is just a compliment because you're then telling me I have a high intellect, but whatever.
Was such a wonderful name.
The story just told is the key essential thing that pretty much sums up all of Johan as a character. Johan being someone who's trying to find his identity in the world and goes through all sorts
And then I said Johan, and it's Johan. See, I'm just so fucking retarded sometimes, dude. Sometimes I think a lobotomy would do a better job than my actual, like, comprehension skills.
of unstable and chaotic moments to then realize his conclusion in life that everyone is equal in death. An extremely nihilistic person who wants to see nothing but the world burn. He wasn't necessarily what the Nazis wanted him to be, although even though he was their definition of the ultimate man, the leader of the next Aryan race, Johan didn't care for any of that, because he was quite literally the embodiment of, I'm not racist, I hate everybody equally. A man who's capable of making people kill themselves with just his words. Quite literally the anime version of the Joker. Someone who is, from a structural standpoint, as I pointed out in my video How to Write the Perfect Antagonist, is written flawlessly. If you asked me who the greatest antagonist in all of anime and manga was, and my life was on the line, my answer would either be Johan or Griffith. And at the moment, Griffith definitely serves as the 1B to
I mean, everybody knows that Griffith is the best. Griffith comes out with his flowing white hair, and then he becomes a little, like, sick boy and can't move his arms, then he becomes a demon, and he's super cool, and, like, not cool in the way that's, like, cool, like, he raped a girl, so, like, I'm not gonna say he's, like, dope, but, like, he's a good villain. He's, like, the best villain. So, like, it's hard to, like, out Griffith, you know what I mean?
Johan's 1A. Every action that we see.
I saw his body on the ground covered in blood. I checked his pulse. There was nothing.
Shut up, Hulu. Nobody cares about your mid-ass show, dude. I'm learning about Johan right now, dude. Johan McSavage Dick.
Johan take is to show his overall chaotic and extremely nihilistic nature. The game that he plays on the rooftop with the boy, saying that if you survive, it was because you were destined to, carelessly throwing his life out there without a single thought. The entire narrative and story of Monster is predicated on the actions of this man, and the dynamic he has with Dr. Tenma. But Johan's unstableness mentally and the whole issue of him finding an identity and ultimately becoming the embodiment of nihilism itself is so beautifully represented by the story I retold in the beginning. If you were to ask me what was my favorite thing from Monster, it would have to be the Nameless Monster tale. It's something that was used as symbolism and as a metaphor for who Johan was as a character, but Urasawa tells it as a separate story within the story of Monster. Essentially what Urasawa did was use a creative telling of a story within the story to explain that story. I know it sounds wild, but just bear with it.
What it sounds like is, so if you go into a dream, and then you go inside of another dream, and then go inside of another dream, you have the movie Inception. This sounds like if it was ever made into a movie, it would be directed by the one and only, whatever the dude's name who made Inception was. Christopher Nolan. I fucking drew a blank and I was like, this is going really cool. I'm really best. Look how fucking awesome I am. I'm doing a really cool voice. It's leading somewhere. Memento. Not Noah. That was fucking Darren Aronofsky. Christopher Nolan. Jesus, I'm so dumb sometimes. I'm so dumb. But, like, I do like that story. Like I said, I think that shit went so fucking hard. It rocked some fucking cocks. It jammed some fucking clams. And, like, I'm kind of curious, because he said the thing about Nazis, right? And I don't even, like, we don't even have, like, a premise for, like, so is this during the 1940s? Is that what we're doing right now? Because I'm just so confused on the timeline at this point.
Story tells of someone who's trying to find their identity, but through different attempts and many failures, he ends up feeling alone. And in that loneliness, despite seeming like someone who's just an innocent member of society, turns into one of the greatest monsters ever written. There has to be something to be said that one of the creepiest antagonists in all of anime and manga that I've ever witnessed isn't someone who's given dark or supernatural powers. He isn't someone who could destroy planets with just a finger. He's just a man. But nonetheless, Urasawa does a great job to dictate that in Monster, Johan pulls the strings. As I did state in my video How to Write the Perfect Antagonist, Johan does check every single box possible that you could want from an antagonist. He's someone who's presented from the very beginning, allowing for proper buildup of his character. He's someone who parallels and contrasts the protagonist amazingly as well. Due to Dr. Tenma saving him, Johan showing a face of regret as to why did you let me live, Johan is ultimately tied to Tenma and serves as the perfect contrast. Tenma again believing that all lives are equal and that one life shouldn't be valued over another, and well, you know Johan's favorite quote. Not only that, but Johan is someone who pushes the narrative of the entire story. Like I said earlier, Johan and all of his actions dictate pretty much what happens to not only the protagonist, but almost every other side character in the entire series. Even though the protagonist is Tenma, it seems like the entire story of Monster revolves around Johan. And to have such an antagonist who has quite literally the hardest death grip on any series that I've been able to witness is impressive. I think it's large due in part to the first impression we get of
Well, that's something that makes a perfect villain, right? Is you write the story about the villain, and then you have the character just be like, you write the character as something that the audience has seen before, something they're comfortable with. Now, don't make it boring or cliche, but there's going to be parts that are cliche, some parts that you're like, oh, I've seen that dick before, it curves to the left, right? So you make them more normal because the audience can instantly graft to them and put themselves in his shoes, and then see this atrocity that's lying before them, which makes it this mountain to climb, right? It's like when you're like trying to bed a chick, bro. You don't just like jump on and slap in, dude. You gotta romance. You gotta like build up to it, and for that you have to see her as this mountain you gotta climb, right? I think you guys smell what I'm stepping in.
Johan's character is a mild-mannered person who seems innocent, who seems charming, someone who seems like an esteemed and noble member of society.
But he is a devil in disguise. Oh yes he is, 'cause he walks like an angel, talks like an angel, but I got wise. Johan's the devil in disguise.
But as the story continues, we find out that cannot be further from the case. Johan is a savage monster, trapped inside the body of what seems to be a German model. Johan is introduced from the beginning. He parallels and contrasts the protagonist perfectly. He does what's necessary of an antagonist, being the dominant force, therefore pushing the conflict within the story. And on top of that, he has his own goal. And it's a pretty simple goal. He's not someone like Madara or Griffith, who you could argue is not necessarily doing anything wrong in their intentions, just the way they went about it was wrong. Johan does
just wants some people just like to watch the world burn. I knew a guy who liked to do diamond mining. He'd shove them four into his auto, and he also killed a bunch of children, and he wanted to watch the world burn.
not care for such trivial things. Johan is the embodiment of evil, and he wishes to communicate a simple message. Death is the only thing we are all equal in. Now, whilst although I do think Griffith is a good example to use as the quote-unquote Antichrist, quite literally in the beginning of Monsters anime, it gives a quote straight from the Bible. Johan, if anything, is the embodiment of the...
You mean I've zero? Dude, he is the embodiment. He's the big dick swinging Antichrist. But because he's got the big dick, he doesn't have the highest intellect to actually hold up to regular Christ, because Christ got that small wiener and Christ has the smarter brain. We all know this. We've all been down this road. We all understand what a big penis actually means. Big dumb, bro. You need to be a micro king like me, baby.
Christ. Pure evil. Everything that stands against life and what's good in the world. If I haven't made my point clear yet, I'm trying to get across that he is absolutely horrifying. But despite his horrific and at times creepy nature when you see the monster that Johan can be, there's also this immense feeling of tragedy, melancholy, and just sadness. Learning upon Johan's past and all of the traumatic events that led to him becoming the monster that he is, I think when looking upon Johan's character, you see nothing but pity. When really looking into Johan's character, he's someone that due to his ability to create chaos, you wonder what would he be capable of if he put that ability to good use. But sadly, where he walks, death follows. And because of that, he's able to create this tension in the story whenever he's present. You already know something big's gonna go down. And to really make things even better, Johan is given one of the most beautiful resolutions as an antagonist ever. Again, it's all predicated on his philosophy that can honestly easily be...
So when he dies, he finally feels equal. He finally gets that, like... that where he doesn't feel like he's alone anymore because he's finally equal with everybody else. It's kind of like I'm getting vibes of the end of Blade Runner where he's like, I don't know, he's like come in the wind or something. We're all like come in the wind flying into each other's mouths and drift away or something. I don't know. It was pretty poetic, honestly. I think I got it pretty much down. I think that was the exact words. It was like when you jizz in each other's eyeballs and make love on a sunset in Milwaukee, you then know each other's fucking nipple length better. And it was like, wow, dude, that was pretty profound.
Misinterpreted upon first examination if not examined well. Feel free to click off if you haven't read all of Monster and you're not caught up, but for those of you that know the climax of the story with Tenma and Johan being there, Tenma refusing to shoot Johan, Johan taking the little boy, and then Johan being shot by the drunk man and then surviving, all seems to be so poetic, knowing what we do know about Johan's character.
Bro's like, fuck! Why couldn't you just shoot me, dog? The homeless guy got it. Now I'm still around. I'm gonna just kill more people. You do realize that, bro. I am going to walk around. I'm gonna put fucking razor blades on my penis, and I'm just gonna dick slap people to death. I'm just gonna slappity, 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 slappity everybody down with my fucking dick razor machine. And it's gonna be your fault because you didn't kill me. Just give me that fucking nice piece. Just give me the fucking end solution and we can move on.
Despite everything that had happened, he wanted to prove the point to Tenma, but Tenma still refused. And in the chaotic event of what ended up happening, even though Johan thought he was destined by fate, in a weird way he wasn't, but then ends up surviving anyways. For a character who literally had a death grip on the entire series and seemed to have everything under control, all it took was one moment outside of his control to put an end to his madness. And the entire dichotomy between Tenma and Johan again really reminds me of Joker and Batman, because when you look upon Johan and you see this sadness and this loneliness, it's almost as if Tenma completes him, just like Batman completes the Joker. It's a poetic push.
Exactly, it's that perfect like opposites. You know, you have to have that. Like Batman's all about bringing order to the city, and Joker's all about bringing chaos. So it's like that perfect mirror reflection. You know, it's the exact opposite. And I like when they're able to craft a villain that is like perfectly matched for the hero. What do you think? Yeah, that's a really, really good additive. I think that you are a profound. You're probably better than half of the writers and like mass speakers in the world. Dude, exactly my thoughts. 100%. You got anything else? Yeah. Oh, you're just getting so upset. You want to sit on Dada's head? We sit on Dada's head. I have a new hat. Oh no, it's a baby. It's a baby. What's he doing? Let's finish this and then Dada will get off stream, okay?
Pool of philosophies and ideals that reaches a climax almost unmatched and unparalleled in all of anime and manga. I think there's more I could speak of structurally when it comes to Johan as a character. I kind of ran through it quickly, but again, I really did give the majority of the examples in my video how to write the perfect antagonist, so I will leave that video in the link in the description below. But without a doubt, Johan is the greatest antagonist that I've witnessed in anime and manga. I hope this motivates you to check out Monster.
So, I'm actually a little disappointed. I'm going to have to do a bigger deep dive on him because I don't feel like I learned much about him. I don't know. I feel like he's just kind of... I really like The Masked Man, but this feels a little earlier on in his career where he didn't go into the full in-depth dives. Like, I got that opening segment. I don't know, dude. I just feel like I still need more about him. Like, here we go. This is like... the same
Our
guy.
monsters born or made.
So this will have to be something that we watch later, the Johan villain. I'm going to definitely say that I'm like intrigued by him, but I don't feel like that one taught me enough. Like I feel like I got the dichotomy of what he is, like compared to the hero, right? There's that perfect dichotomy there. Like it's like that. It shows me that. It definitely showed me that and gave me the understanding of like how he's a great villain. But I don't feel like I learned much about him other than he's the embodiment of like wanting death everywhere, and he feels like that's the only thing that things are equal. And the hero in the story believes that all life is equal, so they have like completely opposing views, which makes it a very interesting progression. But like the story starts with him being like the perfect Nazi. Right? And then it's like, what does that have to do with it? Is it just because he's blonde hair and blue eyed? Like, or is this during like wartime? I don't know anything about the character, which makes me not understand his motives even less. And it just kind of skirted around the motives. I don't know. I think I would have rather had like a bigger deep dive. And this one, there's another video that's 5 months ago. This is definitely going to be something I watch later on the channel. I think this will be like a fuller deep dive. But that's like a good taste. I think we got a good taste for who Johan is. But I'm ready to have the full course fucking meal. But it's a little late. It's a little late. And I have a girl that wants to hang out with me really, really bad. And so I think I'm done. So like and subscribe and say bye-bye. 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 Yeah, bye-bye.